you're gonna keep that thing from me.
Hello friends, hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to this video. So as some of you may know, Lewis and I have been living together for a little over a month now, and I asked you guys to send me some questions on Instagram because this is our first apartment. So I was wondering if anyone had any questions about like first apartment things, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I have the questions here. By the way, if I look a little greasy in this video, it's because it's hot. I got 3 lights in front of me, plus the sun is just beaming, and I'm wearing this sweater for no reason, just to be cute. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get to these questions, but first, if you guys want to be friends outside of YouTube, my social media accounts will be up here in this corner, and they will also be in the description box as well. Feel free to follow me or don't, that's entirely up to you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in to this video. So the first question is, was it difficult looking for an apartment, and how did your family feel about it? It wasn't too difficult. I mean, we used basic apps that like everyone else uses, I guess. Trulia, apartments.com, renters.com, or whatever. We were looking for maybe like a decent amount of the summer. As first time renters, we were a bit picky. I do have to say we were really picky, but like, I mean, we couldn't afford to be too picky because we had a budget, of course. So, oh, by the way, and my family, sorry, I didn't even answer the second part of your question. My family was really happy. I mean, they knew this was coming because like I've been telling them for a few years that like eventually me and Lewis are gonna get our own place within these next couple years, and now it was kind of like that time. They weren't, of course, like forcing us out like,
oh, please leave, like, yes, thank God, oh my gosh, like, it's finally the time has come.
No. Next question, did you need credit to buy your apartment, and how much do you pay for rent? So with us, our credit kind of like existed long before we were even considering looking for a place. So we've already been building our credit, but I will say that when you're looking for an apartment, it's good to have credit because they run credit checks and background checks. So if they see that your credit score is really low, that to them that means like, okay, they're not paying their stuff on time, they're not really responsible. Do I want a tenant like that? I'm assuming that's how it is a lot of places, but yeah, so we did have credit. And as far as how much we pay for rent, I'm not going to say how much we pay exactly, but just know that it was well under our budget, and our budget was like $1,100. So yeah. So the next question is, what's your favorite thing about living on your own? My favorite thing, honestly, as cliche as it sounds, the fact that there's no rules, and if there are rules, I made them. And you know, I have the ability to do whatever I want. I mean, of course, I have to abide by my landlord's rules, of course, but for the most part, like, I pretty much, these are my rules. I can control who I want in my house and who I don't want. I can walk around my house naked if I want to. Like, again, that sounds so cliche, but it's true. Like, I've walked around my house naked a couple times and it felt really good. Or like, there's times when we stay up really late, and there's times when we wake up at like super early. It's just, I don't know, just the freedom, you know. It's very exhilarating, is that the word? I don't know, it just feels really good. That's just everything, honestly, everything. I love everything about it so far. Next question is, do you ever miss having your own room? I do miss like my old aesthetic, which like my room has always been like kind of like a representation of myself, like it symbolized my personality. But as far as like sleeping in my own bed and just like having my own room and my own space, no, I don't miss it at all. I love sleeping with my man. I love having a room with him. I love having an apartment with him. I love being with him. Like, I don't miss none of that. Okay, so moving on to the next question. How was the transition from living with your parents to living with your partner? Asking for myself. It was a little like, I don't know. One thing I will say that was a bit difficult for me was leaving my mom's roof. Which like, I've only had my mom really in my life. My dad was like not really there too much, but my mom has always been there in my life like since I was a baby. And my sisters were grown. My sisters are way older than me, so they kind of like had their own lives and, you know, their own households. But majority of my life, my household contained me and my mom. And from time to time, like, I do get emotional. Like, I'm getting a little emotional right now, but yeah, I mean, I knew this day was coming. She knew this day was coming, and she knows that I'm, you know, more than ready to do this. It's just, oh my god, I don't see my mom every single day. I mean, I do live down the street from her. trying to fight these tears, man. I'm trying to fight them. I do live down the street from her, which if I wanted to, I could easily walk to her house, of course, but it's still not the same as like living under her roof, you know. So the next question is, how did you save enough money to get an apartment? So I've been having a savings account for a while now, and I never knew what exactly I was saving for, but I've always had a decent amount of money in my savings account. Every time I got paid, I would put a little bit into my savings. Little bit over time, and of course that accumulates. But yeah, I've always trained myself to like not touch my savings account money, because you know, you never know what you need it for. I didn't know what I was gonna need it for. I didn't know if I was going to look for a car for myself. I didn't know if I was going to possibly, like, who knows, injure myself. You never know, so it's always good to have money saved. And it just so happened that, you know, I had the money in there when me and Lewis were looking for an apartment, and I was just like, this is why I was saving. This is why. But yeah, if there's anything you could take from that, it would be to just, if you don't have a savings account, open up a savings account, and every time you get paid, calculate like 10-20% and put that towards your savings. The next question is, how do you make the most of spending time with each other? This answer is going to be fairly short, but he works a lot, and you know, it's not that like every single day we're spending all day together. He often goes to work and I'm often here, but when we are together, like on days he's off or before he goes to work or when he gets out of work, we watch a lot of like Netflix, we watch a lot of shows, a lot of movies, we'll cook together, we'll smoke together, and do what I just said. Once fall fall weather starts to be a little more regular over here, we'll be going on walks more. But yeah, we just do basic couple stuff. So the next question is, do you fight? Honestly, no. Like, as long as we've been together within these 5 years, I don't think I recall us ever fighting. We'll argue a little bit, like a little, but it's never to the point where like I'm storming out or he's storming out or we're yelling. Lewis is the type, if he sees that there's an issue, he'd rather us sit down right then and there and talk about it, as opposed to like it just build in our heads and then like it creates more animosity. So the next question is, I know you're into cleansing with sage. Do you clear your house of bad energy with sage? So I actually don't cleanse my house with sage. I don't use sage at all. I use Palo Santo. But I do. When we first moved in, I made sure to cleanse the area or cleanse the space, because you know, the people who lived here before us, we don't know what was going on in here. We don't know what kind of energy they carried. We don't know what kind of lifestyle they lived, good or bad. So I made sure to cleanse the space, and then from time to time I'll cleanse the space. So this next question was asked by a lot of people, and it's basically who cooks more. I'm home a lot, so I'm normally the one who will cook more, but whenever he's off, he'll normally cook. Or say if like he gets out early, sometimes we'll like kind of cook together. He's working and I'm home, so I might as well cook. Like if the roles were reversed and I was the one who was working a 9 to 5 and he was like working from home, he would probably be the one that was cooking more. This next one's not a question, but it's from my girl Cindy. She said, not a question, but I love you, Mia, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you, girl. I love you too. And I'm also proud of you. I see you doing your thing out here. You out here teaching, you know, guiding these young minds. Go crazy. I see you. I'm proud of you too, girl. The next question is, do you feel like having your own place together has helped you grow as a couple? Truthfully, being that we've only been here for about a month, I feel like we both have grown more mature. And definitely we've been more responsible with certain things. Like, you know, as I mentioned, we smoke, and now that we have our own place and, you know, we got bills to pay, we know that it definitely does not come first. And if we have a bit extra to spend on that, then we'll do it. And if we don't, then we will not. I guess you could say, yeah, we've within this month we've like learned a lot. So the next question says, how do you know, or how did you know you weren't, oh, I can't read today. How did you know you were ready to live, what am I saying? How did you know you were ready to leave your I can't read today. How did you know you were ready to leave your parents' home and move in with your boyfriend? So actually what fired up this whole entire thing was one day I had a really bad anxiety attack, and I left my house. I went for a walk, and I was not okay. I was really going through it, and I called Lewis. I told him. He actually left to work and came, picked me up, and we talked about it. And I was basically like, what it all came down to was I was just overwhelmed in my house. I told Lewis, I'm like, I feel like all I really have is my room. I mean, I know I live here too, and this is like, this house is mine as well, but I just feel like I'm like, all I really have is my bedroom. And I think I was outgrowing just having a bedroom, and I knew deep down inside, although I didn't know it here, I knew it deep down inside that I was ready for us to have our own space. But yeah, that's kind of how I knew that I was ready. It's almost as if I didn't accept it at first, but then I realized like, yo, this is bound to happen eventually. So you're ready, you know you're ready. It's just you're afraid of the change that's gonna come. And I think that's what it was. I was just afraid of the change. So I got several questions about like budgeting and if I have any advice. When it comes to budgeting, you kind of want to like take a look at, well, okay, like in this instance, if you're looking for an apartment and you're looking to start like, you know, getting yourself together financially, definitely get yourself a notebook and start basically like calculating how much you have right now. Write that down, write what you have, like what you make monthly or bi-weekly or whatever, like how much you bring home each check pretty much. And you know, if you already have things you need to pay, like for instance you pay your phone bill, take that out and then start, okay, what do I have to, what can I afford to start saving now? Because if you have your own car, you gotta think, okay, gotta take out gas money, gotta take out this, gotta take out that, insurance, whatever. Basically start writing out everything that you already pay for, everything that you kind of already have like your money tied up with, and whatever money you don't have that's like not tied up in something, that's pretty much what you have to work with. Start taking notes and things like that. Also look at your bank statements, and like if you're an online shopper and you know that like you be dropping stacks, look at the things that you spend your money on, like kind of like leisurely, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's the right word or whatever. Basically stuff that you just spend your money just to spend, and kind of start like to tone that down a little bit. Like if you know you spend a lot of money on online stores and you also know that you're looking for an apartment, you might want to like cut down the amount of money you spend on online stores. Or say for instance, you know that you smoke a lot and you are constantly copying every week, but you know you're also looking for an apartment, or you know that you're saving up for a car, or whatever the case is, whatever it is you're saving up for, you might want to like start to reevaluate how much you're copying and how much you're spending, because now you got to think, I have to divide my money to where like I'm saving, but I'm also, I mean, you don't want to cut out everything. You don't want to stop buying what you don't want to stop, you know, doing what you need to do, or you don't want to stop shopping, of course, but you got to start thinking like a bit more responsibly, or responsibly. Like with me, my issue was I would buy a lot of stuff from like Amazon, or go to the thrift store often, the Dollar Tree often. And although like Dollar Tree, yeah, everything's $1, but things start to accumulate, and it goes from like, oh, this little thing's $1, now you're spending 60 bucks. You know, you spent 60 bucks that week and you're like, damn, what the hell did I buy? All that had to start to like, had to change once I started looking for an apartment, because I had to think, okay, I'm not gonna have as much money as I used to have, and I'm not gonna have as much flexibility with my money like I used to. So I had to change my way of thinking a little bit. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question. The next question is, did you find little things about your partner that you didn't know before? Does it irritate you? No, not really. I had an idea of like how Lewis lived before. He had an idea how I lived. I know the type of person he is. Everything that like he does now doesn't really bother me because I knew about it. There are some things that will irritate me a little bit, but it's minor stuff that I will tell him, and I'll like call him out on it right away, as opposed to just like, you know, taking it in or accepting it, or like vice versa, you know. So another question, which is kind of similar to the last one, is do you guys get frustrated on how different your lifestyles are? No, not at all actually, because again, we knew the type of people we were. Like me, I'm very like quiet. I'd much rather like go unseen, go unheard. Lewis, he'll like play music and he'll be really loud, and I'm just like, I know like our neighbors know we live here, but I don't want no one to know we live here, pretty much. I've always been that way. I like to be discreet. I'm very like, I like attention, but I also don't like attention, if that makes sense. I'm very quiet. He's very loud sometimes. Like me, I'm very spiritual. I'll cleanse, I will meditate, and he's not really not saying he's not into it, but he doesn't like practice like I do, you know what I mean? There'll be times when like I'll like talk to him about it, but it's never anything that's like,
hey, you should meditate, blah blah blah, here, sleep with this under your pillow.
Like, no, I don't force him to do anything like that. He knows how I am and I know how he is. I love my man the way he is. He loves me how I am. You know, I wouldn't change him for the world. So the next question is, and it might be the last one, affordable and delicious meals, maybe a cooking video on what you usually make. So if you're looking for like affordable, or at least like just like easy meals, healthy meals, I suggest creating a Pinterest board. If you guys want to follow me on Pinterest, I'll insert my Pinterest in the description. But that is where I be finding meal ideas, snack ideas. I be finding a lot of stuff on there, and a lot of the times people will post like TikToks on there, which makes it easier to see, because on Pinterest normally it'll just be a picture and you have to click on the link, and then the link will take you to like the recipe, whereas like if you're watching a TikTok, you watch them do it right then and there, so you can kind of like, it's easier to follow. I've been trying different things and he's definitely been trying. So it's a learning experience. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. I'm just saying, you don't have to, but you know, it'd be kind of nice. I think this is gonna be my official like setup from now on. It took me a while to figure out like where I would be setting up. It also took me a while to get things put together, but now that things are put together and I found a setup, there's no need for me to like take 20 years to film a makeup video and get it out there for you guys. I have a setup already. No excuses. So if I could try to make an excuse, y'all, I'm giving you the permission to attack me. All jokes aside though, I really hope you guys are doing well and staying safe and staying healthy out there. And with that being said, I guess I will hope to see you in my next video. Bye. And I'm sweating a little bit. And I'm also like kind of just feeling a little bit emotional. Just a little bit. I'm gonna bump on the thing. You only made me mess mine up, okay? I almost knocked down everything just now.
They get inside of me, I tell them what I'm putting, never tell them what I'm about to be. I run down on them before I have a nigga running me, talk your shit.
Y'all wanna see what I was sitting on? Look at all these pillows I have to prop myself on. If you stay till the bloopers, comment WAP. And by WAP, I mean wet ass pits, because I'm fucking sweating.